Hockey town, going down to hockey town, whoa, whoa. Hockey town, take me down to hockey town, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, we're back. I think this is the start of another season. I'm not sure when we ended and started
The
last
Wild
one.
started this weekend. College has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and everyone's out there playing again in college and pro. So that's a good start. And high school starts in a month. They got the Elite League in high school going on the weekends, and juniors have started too. So
Well, good. Real quickly, we're taping this program on Monday, October 18th of 2021. So not sure when you'll see this, but let's try to get caught up. I got to ask you, Jer, where are we at in the high school season?
and what way?
Hockey.
Hockey? Well, the high school starts in 1 month on November 15th, 's practice day. And a lot of new coaches. There's a lot of transfers, and it's pretty easy to transfer, it looks like, because kids are going from east to Hermantown, east to Grand Rapids, and Mike Randolph, is out. So he's down in St. Thomas as an assistant coach. So it's going to be a lot of changes, and I was just at the Minnesota High School Coaches Association meetings. They were in Duluth this last weekend, and I think we got a few guests coming on, and we'll have one of the big discussions that we had is that what parents are doing to these coaches nowadays, and what the high schools aren't helping out these coaches, the athletic departments and that. So we're going to have one of the top guys in the Minnesota Hockey Coaches Association, Mike Mcmillan. You know him, Matt.
Sure.
And his daughter, who got taken out of St. Scholastica after 10 years and winning the championship the year that she was taken out of St. Scholastica program. And
Time out. She was removed from
Yes.
the program?
Yeah.
This wasn't a voluntary exit?
well, it's more like Randolph just say, I don't want to
Oh, boy.
take it.
Okay.
So we'll get them on and
All right.
see what they want to say about all this and where hockey is going and some of these programs and what we can do to change some of this stuff. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Hard to get refs now, and it's just crazy.
It really is.
And even coaches are getting hard to get, because who wants to take all the criticism for volunteering?
Well, I guess that gets to the question of the players. Are there still players to fit these rosters?
Yeah, there is in the cities and that. Up north, they're like this year there's going to be there'll be 5 good teams, 3 A teams and 2 double A's only. Moorhead and Grand Rapids will be very good. And then East Grand Forks, Warroad, and Hermantown will be number 1 in A again. And Denfield can be a decent team too, though. I'll put them in there too.
Really? Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they find a goalie, they can maybe upset Hermantown.
Anything changing or improving at Marshall, Duluth Marshall?
Well, it's hard to say, but the Duluth East Bantam program, I've heard 4 or 5 kids are going up there instead of to East. So who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, that can help. And they're getting some foreign exchange students, I heard, and they're getting some transfers from other places. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't see Marshall being in the thick of things.
I don't know. I've kind of lost track of where we've gone. COVID has affected everything and everybody.
Right.
And our little show here has gone through some transitions and what have you. But did we mention the passing away of Brendan Flaherty?
Yeah, I think we did, but
Well, let's talk about that a little
great
bit.
coach.
Because that really bothered me when I
Spent
heard
many
that.
years. He started out at Duluth Central.
Yeah.
He's a Cathedral graduate, and he coached over. He's
Brought him to state?
yes, He brought him to state, and we've had him on our program every year.
Many
to
times.
start the season and that. And nice hairdo, you know. And,
Loved the hairdo, Brendan.
Yep. He could have made the all tournament team in the state tournament.
Yeah. The all hair team.
Yeah.
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 What happened there? I know he got sick, and then it just kind of took over.
Yeah, he got some cancer, and then all of a sudden he got some infection, and they took him down to the cities, and it affected his brain, I guess. I don't know the whole story, but he was never the same when he came back home here. So, I mean, then his kids and his wife took care of him. They did a great job, I mean.
Yeah.
But his memory wasn't the best sometimes, and he was slow at things and that. But you know, he smiled and he went on with life for what he had, and finally came to an end. And that was two Flahertys in a couple years there that passed away. Older brother Brian, who owns the Blackwaters, the Tavern on the Hill, and the Blackwoods.
Yeah.
He passed away. He had a double transplant. So, and they gave him 5 years, and he probably lasted pretty close to that.
I'm not sure if you want to start in any particular spot, but you got a lot of college hockey stuff here on the
Right.
table.
Well, you know what? I've been doing this hockey. I came back to Minnesota in 1991 and started doing a lot of college and high school hockey. And I'll tell you what, in 30 years, this is the first time ever where the top 5 teams were playing in Minnesota this weekend. we had 3 right here at Amsoil, Michigan. We had number 1 Minnesota State, Mankato. We had UMD number 5, and we had Michigan number 3 at the Icebreaker. And then we had a series home and home with St. Cloud State and Minnesota Gophers. And St. Cloud was 2, and Gophers were 4. So that's the first time I've ever seen all these teams
Whoa.
in our state, you know, for college hockey. That's great.
The top 5 ranked teams played this weekend
Yeah.
in the state of Minnesota.
And last week,
And all but one were from Minnesota.
right,
Oh,
and the week before, 1 and 2 played St. Cloud State and Minnesota State.
yeah.
So I mean, all
Interesting.
these big series already in the first 3 weeks here. This weekend, the Gophers are playing home and home with UMD. So we got 4 and 5 playing each other.
Nice.
I know.
Wow.
That's
great.
crazy.
You know, let me ask you, and I asked Bruce Siskey this question, but I didn't get I wasn't sure of the answer. Well, I didn't have time to get the answer. Anyways, I said to Bruce over the weekend, UMB lost 5-1 to Michigan. And I thought, is that the worst loss that this team has suffered at home since their first game there? If you recall, they opened Amsoil Arena.
I think
UMB,
they lose 5-0.
They lost 5-0 to North Dakota.
Right.
That was the game that Connolly, the player for the Bulldogs, went through the glass.
Yes, amazing.
By the way, I still have a piece of glass, a chunk of glass from that,
Right.
as a memento of the first game.
And what?
But Bruce said that no, they had lost some other game or one other game by, I think he said 6 goals, but losing 5-1 to Michigan in this tournament had to make them reevaluate to some degree.
I don't know about that. What happened is that they were really taking it to pressuring the puck and being physical with Michigan that first 15 minutes. And then Noah Cates got that 5-minute, and it just changed the MO on the whole game.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't
Yes,
know
he
that
got a
that
5-minute and
happened.
out of the game for the rest of the game.
Ah.
And then it just
Was
changed
it worthy?
the whole team.
Was the
It was a right call. It was just a bad play by Noah. Being too aggressive to more or less retaliate.
okay?
So, but give credit to Michigan. I don't know if you follow the draft sometimes, but you really don't follow it that much. Did you know the first 5 picks in the National Hockey League draft this last June, that four of the first 5 picks are Michigan players.
Not for the first
5
American players or college hockey players.
all picks.
Oh, geez.
And then they had 7
Wow.
first rounders on the roster.
My goodness. So they got a pretty good team.
Yeah. What I was saying to someone, just watching them play, they're young. because
Yeah.
a lot of them come from the development team right there. That's why they get
You
them.
know what's so interesting about this whole scenario is that, as you recall, last year, UMD was scheduled to play Michigan, I believe was at the opening round of the tournament, and
Right.
Michigan came down with the COVID, and they had
Protocol,
yeah, and UMD ended up not playing Michigan.
Right.
And who knows how things would have turned out there, but nonetheless.
Right.
So Michigan had something to prove, maybe against UMD, I don't know, but
Right.
they've got a good team.
Right. Well, I was thinking, if this team can stay healthy and get some chemistry with these young kids, they could stay in number one the whole year. They can go all the way through.
Are they number one now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Today
so-
they just
okay.
went to number one
Okay.
from 3.
So Minnesota State, Mankato, whatever, came into this tournament number one in the
Yes.
nation. And they lost 3-2 to Michigan, so
Right.
Mankato was able to
Good
kind of
game.
hold their own.
Oh yeah, they pressured Michigan pretty good. But hey, that can be those two teams in the Frozen Four final championship game.
Now, it was kind of neat that Mankato was in town because Scott Sandlin's younger son is on that
They
squad.
scored a goal each game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. These home. I mean, these kids come home and they like to play at home, don't they?
Good, good.
Yeah. So it's neat. Another thing that caught my eye this weekend up here was the Providence team. They have 2 kids on the roster and only one was playing. But Robbie Stauber, that played for Denfeld, an All-American in college, and played for the Kings. His son, Jackson.
Kobe Baker winner.
Yeah, there you go.
So his son Jackson is a
Right.
goalie.
Right.
And they kept
The starting
mentioning
goalie.
him. Yeah, and I thought, who is he? Where did he play high school?
He went to 3 different places. He started out at Marshall, then he went down to the cities to Benil. They had too many goalies, and then he went to Holy Family.
I see. Okay.
And then college, I know he went to other college before Providence, and I just can't think right now. It doesn't have it in their sheets. Some sheets have it. But another thing I noticed this weekend is so different because of COVID is all these top teams, not Michigan so much, but St. Cloud State, Minnesota State, the Bulldogs, they got all these 5th-year seniors.
Yeah, yeah.
And then right here, just showing it right here, just the Bulldogs, they got 3 forwards. Kobe Roth, they got Bender from Cloquet, Kobe Bender, and then they got this transfer 5th year, Casey Gilling. And then let's see, who's the defenseman back? Oh, yeah, Louis Rell and Matt Anderson. So 5 5th years
But all teams have that.
option.
Yeah.
But some teams are taking advantage of it.
Well, what are these players? Obviously, these players, stuck around, basically.
Yep. They like the college atmosphere, experience, and that. And
Yeah.
Plus, they can get some more schooling in, I guess. But one thing I kind of worry about is it kind of messes up the recruiting because there's kids that are ready to come in.
Yeah.
And even though they might not play that first year that much, but they're ready to come in, now they can't come in. So
Are you
they
second?
got to play in the USHL or whatever,
Now, these are decisions, though, that Coach Sandlin obviously
Right.
makes.
These are the coaches.
So do you question what Scott Sandlin says, Jerry? Huh?
No, when you're winning, why question anything?
Don't question the coach. He's got 3 championships under his
There
belt.
you go. I am.
But
not
no,
done.
that's an interesting thought, though. That
Right.
and hopefully that doesn't have some adverse effect.
Right. I think these kids will adjust in that, and plus
Make them more eager to come.
I always said that some of these kids need 1 or 2 years in juniors, not
Yeah.
come right in after high school or something all the time.
What was the option for a lot of these kids even 20, 25 years ago, maybe 30 years ago? I don't recall too many players leaving their high school teams and going elsewhere to play.
Yeah, they came in right out of high school almost all the time in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So we were always the youngest teams. But then UMD started recruiting out of Canada a lot.
I was thinking, I was watching the Gophers play Mercyhurst, and I'm not sure how
I was down there one of the games.
Were you?
Yeah.
Were you? Mercyhurst put together more of an effort on Saturday night.
I thought they did both nights. played pretty good against the Gophers. I thought the Gophers were just going to run them out of town, but they
Yeah.
didn't.
Okay.
You
okay.
know, and Mercyhurst hasn't been a good team.
What was the score of that Friday night game? There was a lot of goal scoring going on, wasn't there?
I think it ended up 7-4.
Okay.
But I think it was closer than that.
Okay, all right.
Because it was tied at one time.
But it got me to thinking about the days of Doug Woog. Was it Doug Woog or was it Herb Brooks? Who was it that initiated the policy, if you will, at Minnesota that they're only going to recruit Minnesota players for their college program?
I think both of them basically
Was
had
that just kind of
policy for Minnesota.
the way things were?
Right.
For,
Right. It
and then
always
that
was
changed
Minnesota kids.
not too long ago, but it changed
Right.
eventually.
Right. They still, I mean, they have more Minnesota kids than any other team still.
Yeah.
I mean, UMD has 17 on their roster, but Minnesota has more.
Yeah.
So, but all the Minnesota teams have a lot of Minnesota high school kids.
Yeah.
So it's good. And plus now, here's another thing. It's kind of strange, you know. I don't know where some of these people have money, but they're donating $40 million to build a stadium. But St. Thomas, the Tommies, D1 now,
Yeah.
in hockey.
Yeah.
Go down to Sioux Falls. How do you pronounce it? Augustine.
Augustana.
Okay, Augustana. That's right. They're going in.
Yeah,
D1.
yeah.
So I mean, schools are going to start coming out, and there'll be more. And that's going to be a great opportunity. There's a lot more Minnesota kids. They'll be able to play D1 hockey because of this.
What effect does it have on Canadian-born players? Are they looking for places to play as well?
Oh yeah. I mean,
the
if they
D1
got
level?
the talent,
Yeah.
the talent, I mean, they're looking.
And it's still a European, it's an international game at the college
Right.
level.
And some of these teams are getting Europeans.
Yeah.
And Mankato always had a couple Germans on their team, or you know.
Well, real quickly, I just wanted to transition just real briefly to Minnesota Wild because the Wild were in Duluth. They spent some time up here just kind of bonding as a team. And then I think it was the game against Los Angeles. Kevin Gorg was talking to Foligno, and Foligno mentioned, he goes, so we were up in Duluth, you know, we had a little bonding thing going on. Some of the things I read, did you get a chance to be down at the deck and see any of that or be involved
I was
in
watching
that?
it,
Yeah.
just watching. I'm always down at the Wild game, so
It's
I
kind of a loose format, and
Right.
again, it's kind of a bonding thing, and it was good to see there in Duluth, though.
Right, and seeing all these little kids. Wait a minute, you're supposed to be in school. Where's the truant officer?
Oh, well.
And then all of a sudden, they're like little brats, you know, sign my stick.
Oh, well.
But it
Yeah.
was fun for the kids.
Yeah.
And they loved the Russian. Kirill Krizbal.
While watching him here in Duluth, was it noticeable? Could you tell that he was a step above maybe some other players? Or
Well, the crowd went crazy every time he was doing something on the ice. They just love him.
Yeah.
In that. You see Drew Doughty for the LA Kings, when he made a comment about him?
I did.
But you got to give more power to him. He got the money. But Drew says 45 games he only played. He's getting
Yeah.
paid too much.
Yeah. Well, who got the last laugh there, Drew?
And the paycheck cashed, so it's good.
Wild beat the LA Kings. They beat
Yep.
Anaheim on those 2 road games.
Right.
And now they'll be home Tuesday to take on Winnipeg.
Right.
You'll be at that game?
Yep. I'll be down there tomorrow night.
All right.
Then they play Saturday Anaheim at home.
Okay.
And then Sunday Nashville. Then they go on the road. They go on the road for the week, and one of the teams I know is Seattle.
You know, I was really kind of surprised, and I think the media was too. I read some stories that when they broke camp and they finalized their roster, Marco Rossi went down to Iowa. And
Right.
I don't know if that's a big surprise, but is it Adam Beckman?
Is it Beckman or Becker?
Beckman.
Okay,
Yeah,
Beckman.
Beckman. He was sent down, and they kept
Right.
Duhaime in his
Right.
place. But it was encouraging to hear GM Guerin say that the guys that they sent down, Beckman and Rossi, they're going to play up here.
Right. They need to play. I mean, why have them up here watching? Be a scratch for the game, you know, or get a few shifts.
Yeah.
Very few
Yeah.
shifts where they can be on the first line down there and getting a lot of shifts.
So that tells me that the Wild have some real good depth here,
Yeah.
apparently.
And what's the kid from Boston?
Yeah, what's the status
He
of
got
Boldy?
hurt.
Matt Boldy.
He got hurt.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think he's out about a month.
Oh,
to
boy.
6 weeks. They
Well,
said.
I'm always going to be very critical of that draft pick because we could have had Cole Caulfield from Stevens Point,
Right.
Wisconsin. I think there was a good
Small
connection
kid,
there.
but he can score.
And, maybe Matt Boldy will turn out to be pretty good, but Cole Caulfield's already pretty good.
Yep.
And
He came right into Montreal.
I
And
don't want to say I told you so, but I think you blew it, Karen.
you're our new draft guy.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the way all these salary caps and everything, they should pay the guy that can run all these salary caps and everything, how to do a trade. They should pay that guy $1 million. I mean, that has got to be the hardest job in the world right now to figure that all out, I don't care how much computer software you have, it's still tough.
Last year was obviously different because of COVID. Was it last year? When did they play in the bubble when all the teams... That was to finish out the previous season, I think.
Right.
They put a pause on the season, and then teams moved to Toronto and Edmonton, and
Yep,
they finished
all
the
the
season.
games in the Stanley Cup
That's what
were
it
up
was.
there.
And then Tampa Bay
All were
won
up
the
there.
game. Was it in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then last year was a shortened year.
They started out up there in the bubble. I think then they go to home.
Yeah, and then
the semi and the finals or something like that.
Yeah. And so now here we are, the 2021-22 season, and things so far so good. Are teams being careful because of COVID? And do you know what some of the
I have
precautions?
no idea, but most of
taking?
the National Hockey League wants you to wear your mask when you come into the stadiums. The fans.
Well,
and
I
that.
heard that Guerin tested positive for COVID. GM.
Just lately, or
That's what I heard.
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
All right.
I'll find out.
Find out.
I will when I'm down there tomorrow. But yeah, you got to watch it. In locker rooms, you're close to everyone. And that. Well, look at today. Colin Paul taking all the vaccinations, and he's gone now because of COVID.
Sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did hear that. That's
But
sad.
he was an older guy, but he was always in pretty good health.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah.
So it's still a dangerous thing.
It was interesting watching. I didn't see the Anaheim game. Way too late.
Plus, you couldn't. It was hard to see unless you pay for it on that streaming.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's another thing that I don't like.
Yeah. And for the record, WDSM 710 AM, 98.1 FM is your Twin Ports home for Packer football, also Wild hockey. But they do stream the games at WDSM710.com. Now, when I say stream, it's audio stream, obviously.
Audio stream, okay.
But WDSM, your home.
Oh, that's
for
a new
Wild
channel,
hockey.
huh?
Yeah, that's our.
This is the first year.
Radio hockey.
Seven-
No, they've had it.
They
I just
have?
want to remind
Okay.
our viewers that
Okay.
that's where you.
That's good to
listen
know
to
because a lot of
games.
times I'm coming up north and I lose the K-fan down there.
Yeah, 710 AM, 98.1 FM, and you can stream it at their website, at WDSM's website.
Now the UMD games on there too? Same channels?
UMD are on KDAL.
Oh.
Yeah, and they stream there as well.
Okay.
KDAL
'Cause
610.
I'm at the game, so I don't even know what's on the radio
Yeah.
channel. Okay. So they've been on KDL a couple years now, or 3
Oh,
years?
yeah,
3
Bruce
years?
Siski's been doing
Because
that.
it used to be 92.1.
Yeah.
Back when they
That's the old
got
days.
bought out or something like that.
The old days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. I got that down now.
Yeah.
610 for UMD Bulldogs and 710 for the Wild.
There you go.
And 98.1.
Yes. Or online, WDSM710.com
Okay.
on the streaming.
Good.
So, having said that, what else you got?
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of guests this year. We got a lot of high school coaches. I'm working on the coach for Hermantown. Sometimes it's hard to get these high school coaches because
You're working on them. Makes it sound like you got them in a headlock and you're, come
Well,
on
it's kind
now.
of like that.
Hey.
I did that. Almost.
Oh, okay.
But see, he's a teacher. And it's hard to get
Keep
teachers
working on
because
them.
they're teaching.
You know-
and we produce our show. And
Yeah.
he says maybe we can do a later show like 2:30 or something like that and
Yeah.
get him in here. But he wants to come on.
Good, good.
But we'll get some coaches. We'll get, we'll
Yeah.
get the Denville Jago, and we'll get the Marshall coach this year and see what they're doing with that program. And we'll get the new coach, Steve Patosha.
At East.
Yep.
There
We
you
get the
go.
new coach there, and
Yeah.
we can, if we have to, we'll make phone calls to some of the good programs down in the cities and get the coach on over the phone. And that. But
good.
plus, we're gonna have we have some other Tim Cortez. We're gonna get back on, and we're gonna talk other stuff.
The artist.
Yes,
Tim.
artist, but being a goalie coach. And
Yeah.
what he's doing in hockey now.
Good.
And
Good.
he's a big supporter of hockey. He's always volunteered his hours for the youth, So, very nice guy too.
So who's emerging as the leader, if you will, of the UNB Bulldogs? I know that Captain Noah Cates is.
He's my favorite player because everything he does, he's so good on the wall and behind the net.
Now he's a draft pick of Philadelphia. Was
Right.
his brother as well?
Yeah, and he went to the Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I think he was brought up for the game because someone got injured.
Okay.
Everyone thought when his brother Jackson went to the pros last year that Noah would follow, and Noah decided to stay.
Is goaltender going to be an issue for the Bulldogs this year?
No, I think they get along and they know they're going to, one has a bad game, the other one. But I think the coach will split them.
Yeah.
Like he has been. And they're both, I like both of them.
Good.
I really do.
Ryan Fanti, junior out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. He's not a stay-at-home goalie. He kind of wanders outside the goalpost.
There was a few goalies that did that. That Michigan goalie was doing it.
Yeah.
They all are kind of,
Yeah.
they got a little stay lock in them.
Yeah, why? And I was just going to say that Alex Staylock was our guy that certainly did that. Okay, so goaltender's okay. Listen, I know and I haven't told you this yet, but I've made some new ending credits, and they run a little longer, so we're going to have to keep this short at the end here to accommodate that. But good to see you again, Jim.
Yep, another season.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
All right.
Another year.
Okay. Well, with that, we want to thank the staff at PACT-TV, where this program's produced. Go to our websites. Go to our Facebook page. Like us at Facebook. Go to the website. Jared keeps all that updated, and that's good. And we'll be back here in the future to drop the puck. We'll see you then.